Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining in. We'll just give it another 10, 15 seconds, and then we will get started with today's demo and webinar. Perfect. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining in today's session. I want to quickly introduce myself and Stephanie here. My name is Mohammed Yunus, and I am the founder and CEO of vFairs. Along with me, I have Stephanie, who's our star sales manager and will be assisting for the demo part for today. Even though it's going to be a generic demo for all of what vFairs has to offer in this 30 minutes slot only, we still want to try our best to make it as relevant to each one of you as possible. And in order to make that happen, I would highly appreciate if you can answer the following questions on chat. Please let us know about your name and your company name. What kind of events you typically run? Do you run virtual events, in-person events, hybrid events? And what kind of products you are here in this demo to learn from vFairs? We have to offer all-in-one event platform. We have the virtual event platform, the in-person event solution. We also work with our customers just on the mobile event app and lead capture app, along with badge printing, event registration, and ticketing, right? So I'm just going to post these questions on chat, and I would highly appreciate if you can answer these questions on the chat itself. With that, let us get started, Stephanie, and I think let us walk them through the demo of vFairs platform.
Sounds great. Thank you, Yunus. Perfect. So as Yunus was mentioning, we are an all-in-one events management platform, and the following points that I'm going to address in today's call would be starting off with event registration and ticketing. We'll dive right into the virtual component. We'll talk about mobile app and badge printing, and let us know if you've got any questions in the chat as well. But what I want to lead with is that full suite of offering that we spoke about. With vFairs, you will get that with a very assisted support, a very white glove approach from our project management team. So for any event you're hosting, any scale of event that you are hosting, you will have a dedicated, a named project manager, a named project coordinator, and customer success manager to help build out the full event environment for you. And the way that the journey will begin is we will set up that beautiful, fully branded landing page and registration form so you can start getting the word out and start promoting that event. No matter the use case, it's a very custom form that will highlight any kind of details about the event itself, such as the date and time. If it's a trade show like the one I'm walking you through here, you can add details about the event, location. You can add highlights and benefits of participating in FAQs, or even showcase the vendors that are going to be participating. We assist clients with recruitment type of events as well. If that's a use case that you're planning on hosting, your landing page would be different in terms of resources, in terms of the information that you add, in the sense that you want to promote the company, who you are, what you do, the diversity that you have, the kind of roles you're hiring for, and much more. And for in-person events or hybrid events, you can even include details within that landing page to highlight the Google Maps location, to highlight who your speakers are going to be, what that agenda is going to look like, who's exhibiting at that event, all of which to serve the attendees as much information to better educate them to what to expect at the event and excite them to register for the event itself. For registration, there's tons of way you can capture information here, all the way from data import using our custom registration forms. We can do CRM integrations. You can capture payment, you can have group registrations, and much, much more. We even have conditional logic when it comes to registration. So we come across a lot of clients that have different attendee types and need to capture different kinds of information from each attendee. And that's where we can support you by tailoring the registration form with any custom fields. Anything that's important for you to capture can be added in here as mandatory or optional fields. And in case you'd like to capture any payment, we can also assist by having all of your tickets available within that registration page. You can select the ticket that you're interested in purchasing. You can add any kind of add-ons that you wish to add. You can have group registrations in here. And once you finalize what you want to purchase, and you can apply any discount or coupon codes that you have, once you want to order that, it will redirect you to the payment gateways that we integrate with, which are PayPal, Stripe, and much more, to finalize the payment. This is a quick overview of what's happening leading up to the event. Of course, we want to keep the attendees as engaged as possible. So that's where the follow-up emails, the engagement content comes in. vFairs can also assist with that. Depending on the use case that you are planning for, you can have a customized email with your branding, with your content that goes out. If it's a virtual event, we typically see clients adding information like mark your calendar, here are your credentials to log into the event. And when it's in-person events, we see them adding things like Google Maps location and the QR code that they will need to check in. Now, there's a lot of communication that goes in to planning a successful event, one of which is sending confirmation or acknowledgement emails, but others could include marketing emails. Maybe you want to write a press release as well to drive more, traffic and footfall to the event. And that's where our AI integration comes in place, and you can use the AI assistant to create content across the event. In this case, I've marked down social media. I need help for a pre-event post that I want to share on LinkedIn. And all I need to do in here is add the tone of voice that I want the messaging to come out as, and any kind of hashtags or keywords or benefits that I want to relay. And within a couple of seconds, it generates the full text that I can simply tweak. I see a preview on the right-hand side as well, and I can post this on my social media channels. I'll pause right here in case there was any questions on the pre-event side. Otherwise, I'll dive right into the exciting part, which is the live day itself for the virtual attendees.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for your comments here in the chat, as well as on LinkedIn Live. Again, I'm making a note of all of those questions, Stephanie. Let us go through the rest of the demo, and we'll answer all of those questions in the end. And again, thank you, everyone, for joining in here. Again, the more engaged you are, the better this demo can be. And again, we'll be giving a $200 voucher, again, for anyone who's most engaged, asking them, the relevant questions, towards the end of this webinar. One of you guys is going to get $200 voucher as well, that can be used for vFairs event credit.
Sounds great. Perfect. So in today's demo, we will cover both. We're going to cover the virtual piece and the in-person, which of course a combination as well could help you with hybrid events. And I'll lead it off with virtual. I'll focus a lot on branding because I know how important that is when we're hosting these events. And we'll talk about engagement and networking to make sure that our virtual audience is not missing out on anything in case they couldn't make it to the in-person location. Let's start off with having that first great impression for your attendees. That's where you can use our immersive lobby designs. We've got tons for you to choose from. It could range from exterior views, interior views. They could be animated. They could be static. Everything you're seeing here could be customized. It could be tailored to match the event you're looking for. The avatars are very diverse. The branding that you're seeing here, down to the way that the avatars are dressed, could be very customized. And it's your branding that we will bring to life within these designs. So here are a couple of examples of clients that have hosted different types of events with us. Lots of opportunity for sponsorship as well within these designs. And while you have tons of templates that are 3D to choose from, we can also help with 2D designs such as this one. And if you really want to stand out with the event, especially if you're having this as a hybrid model, we've seen a lot of clients replicate the in-person location as well to make the virtual audience feel as though they're actually walking into the Hilton Chicago in this case. Another example of that custom design, one of my favorites, was when we worked with Microsoft and we replicated what their offices look like. So this was in terms of look and feel. Next, I'm going to dive right into the functionalities. What do you get with this immersive lobby design? First thing, you're in great hands with vFairs when it comes to support. So not only will we be alongside you guys during the setup of the event, but even on the live day, you will have a dedicated rep from vFairs that is manning the help desk or support desk, so that if any attendee comes in here and has any technical support that they require, they will actually be chatting with someone from vFairs via chat or one-on-one audio and video calls to assist with their inquiries. Next up, we've got the exhibit hall. And I know that we're having a generic demo here, so I want us to picture that this could be absolutely anything you want. There's different use cases that we cater to. So if it's a conference style event, these would typically be your sponsors. They could be exhibitors, they could be different vendors. Here's an example of a trade show. So look and feel could be very different in terms of the templates we offer. And in terms of features, we've got a very wide feature depth that you can choose and tailor depending on your use case. For instance, if you're looking at hosting a trade show, you might want to enable features for attendees to be able to order products, learn more about what this vendor has showcased, and then add these products into their shopping cart. If you are planning on hosting a recruitment event, maybe these booths could represent different departments that you're hiring for. And any department that I click on, I could learn more about the open vacancies, apply for these roles, and chat with the recruiters. And if you're looking at hosting, conferences or any other use case, the booth will basically serve 4 main purposes. It's going to be fully branded. It's going to have unlimited content that you can share within that. You will have the ability to chat or even book meetings with the representatives. And the 4th thing is lead capture. So no matter the use case you're planning for, there's always some form of ROI that we want to capture. If it's recruitment, you want to see how many candidates visited you and applied for jobs. If it's a conference and these are sponsors, we want to add value to what they've invested to participate. And that's where the reporting and analytics will be very valuable to you. You can capture absolutely everything from every click, download, booth visit, conversations, and much, much more. With that, we've wrapped up the exhibit hall. Let us know if you have any questions on that. But we understand that another key part of any event you're hosting also revolves around the main stage area. You might have keynote speakers, you might have breakout rooms, and you want that to be as engaging as possible with attendees. And so for that, we have our auditorium room that once again could be 3D, 2D, can be very branded. Here's 2 of my personal favorites that we have. And again, within these auditorium rooms, you will house the different tracks, the different sessions that you have going on, and you will give an overview of your presenters, who they are, their bio, maybe even add handouts in there. And you can allow the attendees to add sessions to their calendars or even personalize their agendas. In terms of how you watch these sessions, the opportunities are, a mix of live, you can have some pre-recorded sessions, you can have on-demand videos, and what's important is engagement during these sessions. So rest assured, we've got you covered when it comes to having chat in parallel. If you want to have polling, you want to have quizzes, you want to have surveys, you can run all of these within embedded webinars on vFairs. That was in terms of core functionalities. To recap, it's the beautiful design they land on, the support that's always there in case they needed assistance, the exhibit hall that could be anything depending on your use case, and then the main stage area that will house the different sessions that you have. And before I dive into more of networking and engagement, I'll pause for a second in case anything urgent came up.
Thank you, Stephanie. Again, thank you everyone for your comments. I can see a lot of people are interested in the virtual piece, so I think we'll go through some of the other things that we still have to, share with you guys a bit more on the engagement side. But after that, we can then get into a bit of the in-person events and how we can help on that one. Stella and everyone else who's sharing comments, please let us know if there are any specific features that you are looking for within the virtual piece. We can also go through them. Otherwise, we'll just kind of keep it high level and walk you through most of our core features, at least in this particular demo, and can have a personalized session with each one of you guys for your specific event needs. Thank you, Stephanie. It's great. Let's keep it going.
Perfect. My favorite part of the demo is the following. How can we keep attendees engaged and how can we add gamifications as well? So let's first start off with networking. When we talk about networking, it could be between speakers, it could be with different sponsors or vendors, and it could also be between attendees. And here are the functionalities we have to help you, encourage and increase networking during your events. Starting off with roundtables. Roundtables can be created at specific times of the event, and you can have as many of these as you want. They can be branded as per your liking. And the concept behind this is, Each table could revolve around a different networking conversation, and there's a certain number of seats around each table. The great thing is that these seats could also be pre-booked. For instance, speak with a rep from vFairs. I would be here within this table, and then there's 2 vacant seats for people to jump in and out, where we can have a group conversation with video and audio conversations as well. As you can see, these seats could range from 2, 3, they could go all the way to 16, 20, however you'd like. Second option we've got, and I'm going to play a very short video on that. It's the Spatial Connect, which works like a very metaverse style of networking. So the way that Spatial Connect works is at a given point of the event, all of your attendees would be redirected into this immersive room. And within that room, by the way, there's tons of different design options as well. You can make it look like it's very office-like. It could look like, it's a beach area and much, much more, and this can be customized. Now, as you can see, there's certain individuals within this room, and around each individual is this transparent kind of the radius that we're seeing around each individual. As long as 2 members match within that area, they can hear and speak with one another. And then the further you shift into another group of individuals, you can enter that conversation with the rest as well. Very fun way to keep your attendees engaged. And it really resembles the feel as though you're in person and you're walking around, bumping into people and starting conversations as well. In parallel to the video and audio, we can even have chat with the room participants as well. And the next feature we have for networking is matchmaking. Picture this like speed dating. The idea is we want to set a certain duration. So for instance, let's start off with who we're matching with the other. Is it completely random? So, I'm at a conference, I can get matched with Yunus at random, and then we can get some ice-breaking questions and have a conversation for any duration you set, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, and then I move on to the other attendee. Or is it on a smart matchmaking basis where it asks me questions, and based on my answer, it pairs me with like-minded individuals that are here to basically, discuss the same topics. Once I submit the responses that I have in here, with smart matchmaking, I get paired up with another individual. As you can see, there's a timer at the top, which is defined by you guys as the event organizers. And then you can have ice-breaking questions that could be, completely at random or revolving around the event. And once the timer comes close to hitting 0, you can either extend that conversation or move on to the other attendee. This is a quick overview in terms of networking opportunities. Now let's take a look at how we can gamify your event. First thing on that list is the following. Scavenger hunt is a very popular add-on, and the great thing about scavenger hunt is that the hunt is on absolutely anything you want. It could be themed as per the event that you're hosting. Like with this client, it was a very Vegas themed event. So what I'm looking for in the event platform are things related to that, such as Elvis, a deck of cards, chips, some cash, and much more. So the idea is to push attendees into different rooms of the event. And while we encourage them to visit these rooms, there would be these hidden objects that we need to locate. Once we find all 10 objects, for example, you could give away prizes or give them points and much more. With the scavenger hunt, this can be done the way that I walked you through, or it could even be done sequentially, which is even more fun if you think about, because you get a clue to find the next object, and only after you found the second object do you get some kind of a hint to find the third, and so on. Next up on the list is the leaderboard. The leaderboard is basically a point system. Think about it this way. Whichever key items are a main priority for you at the event that you want to push the highest engagement to, simply bump the score for that action. Is logging in important? Is watching a certain keynote or visiting a certain booth important to you? Accordingly, you can set the points that are earned by individuals when they do these actions. The more they're engaged, the more these points are going to accumulate, and the higher they are on the leaderboard, the more they increase their chances of winning prizes and different giveaways. Next up, we've got our photo booths. Now, who doesn't like a selfie or a boomerang every now and then? And that's exactly what our photo booth will allow you to do. Attendees can come in here, snap a selfie, and then that picture will enter into the photo gallery, for other attendees to be able to see the other individuals, add likes to their images as well. And if you think about it, even this can be gamified because we can encourage the ones with the highest amount of likes to earn prizes, or maybe ones with the most unique or creative selfies to earn prizes at the end as well. There is much more that we can discuss. We've got features like spin the wheel. We have integrations with Kahoot. If there's anything else you were looking for that we might have missed, let me know. Otherwise, I'll pause in case there's anything we've missed on the virtual piece. And I'm very excited to walk you through the mobile app as well.
Perfect. Again, just I have one question on the virtual piece that is still unanswered, so I'll quickly answer that. So the question is just how accessible all of this is. And again, I want you guys to know that vFairs is fully accessible. Again, we follow the WCAG compliance, we follow the 508 compliance, we follow the VPAT compliance. So from that perspective, again, we are the only vendor out there, who caters to people with special needs. Happy to walk you through specific examples where the entire platform that was built for just that particular audience. So again, thank you for posting that question. Again, rest assured, we are fully accessible, and we're happy to kind of demonstrate that separately in a one-to-one conversation as well. Thank you, Stephanie.
Yeah. All right, let me just open up. So just to recap what we spoke about, we mainly focused on the virtual piece, although in the beginning we did talk about a mix of in-person when we spoke about the kind of confirmation emails that they're receiving. So I'll just go back one step and then proceed to put ourselves in the attendee shoes from a purely in-person event attendance. So far I registered for the event. I got an email with the venue location and I got my unique QR code as well. Now, what happens is once I make my way to the venue, the first thing I need to do is to collect my badge ideally. And we know how frustrating this can be if there's a long queue there, or if you've got your badges mixed up. So we've got 3 very simple fixes for you. Here's the first option. First option is an attendee already has their QR code at hand. All they need to do is scan their QR code, and immediately that prints out their badge. Also, these badges could be very customized. They can include any kind of logos, sponsorship opportunities, and much more. Second option you've got is an attendee walks up to you and does not have their QR code handy for any reason. So what we can do in this case is we can look them up on the back end just to confirm that they're a registered user, payment has been submitted, and so on. Once we find that attendee, without the need to scan a QR code, we can proceed to print out their badge. And scenario number 3, we come across some clients where they tell us, I've got a set of attendees that I know are going to attend the event. I'd like to print these in bulk in advance. And that's what we can also do with the same software. What we can do is, select a group of attendees or all of your attendees if you want. And this is what the process of bulk batch printing looks like as well. Just an important note to make that as part of us being that end-to-end solution, everything you're seeing in these videos could also be provided by vFairs just to facilitate the process. So all the way from the batch printing software, the hardware that you're seeing, even when we spoke about support initially, I know we addressed it on online support to set up the event, but should you require a rep from vFairs to be at that event on site, happy to provide that as well. All right, I'm just going to need a second and I'm going to share my screen and walk you through the mobile app.
Thank you, Stephanie. And again, as kind of Stephanie show the mobile app, again, just to summarize, for every event, you have the event landing page and session form. Once people register for their in-person event, they can get their badge printed. For the virtual event, they can log into the virtual event platform. Once they have again got their badge printed for the in-person event, next step is for them to kind of use the mobile event app in order to go through the in-person event itself. And we're going to go ahead and demo that part to you now.
Perfect. So the app itself that Yunus is referring to, just as high level, this could be the vFairs branded mobile app, or this could also be white labeled. As you can see, all of the different apps here are all vFairs, but white labeled for our clients. You can download this on the App Store, Google Play Store, and this is what the app functionalities are going to look like. Now, I know that we've got a global attendance here, so it's worth mentioning that the app could be in different languages, should you require that. And because we've already captured the attendee registration, all they need to do here is just fill in their login details, just their email address they use to register and sign in. For the sake of our demo, I'm going to click on the demo event down here and walk you through the app functionalities. First thing that pops up when I open up the app is what we call a splash ad. It's really popular between our clients because we understand that sponsorship plays a very big role in a lot of events that clients do, that for in-person events, and they contribute a lot to revenue generation. So such opportunities to provide more branding and visibility to them are really valuable to event organizers. And the fact that there's tracking and analytics on all of these ads makes it even more valuable. So splash ads can be used for sponsorship amongst other reasons. And similarly, you've got the banner ads at the bottom as well to help promote further branding and visibility. Now, an important note to make is because I'm walking you through the vFairs demo app, you're seeing vFairs branding in here, but I'm going to show you snippets of other apps just so you can see how customized this full experience can be. It's your branding here, it's your Google Maps location and event details that will be set up in here. And everything else you're seeing below is very custom in the sense that we can add whichever features you're interested in. We can reword, rebrand, recolor everything you're seeing as well within the app. And here are some other examples to diversify how the mobile app can look like. With Harbor Food, they opted for a white labeled app. It has their branding once you log in. And because in their case, it was a trade show, the features that they were interested in revolved around showcasing their vendors, searching for products, and having their order history and shopping cart. Whereas other events like the AERA conference that we did revolved a lot around different webinars as well. So there's a lot of personalized agendas, lots of sessions and multiple content in this app for this client. Another way that this client used that pop-up ad was to also showcase different videos. So you can have a welcome video, tutorial video, amongst other things. Perfect. Let's go back to the vFairs app and talk about functionalities. By the way, a lot of what I'm going to show you here is more or less the same like the virtual when it comes to features. So I'll keep it pretty high level, but please let us know in case you'd like us to dive in deeper into any of these features. What's important for clients? Yes, sir.
No, perfect. I think, Stephanie, if we can just walk them through the core features, the auditorium and the exhibition hall. I think we have just few questions, and I want to make sure that we try to kind of wrap it up in 35 minutes or less for all of them.
Sounds great. Perfect. So let's dive right in. First off, any kind of notifications that are happening at the event, we can trigger these, on the spot or pre-schedule notifications should you have any changes in your agenda or any kind of announcement you want to relay. One of the core functionalities is going to be the QR code. So the QR code is what we're seeing here at the center of the page. And this is what is being used for multiple instances in the event. Number one is to check attendees in. You as an event organizer is going to use the scanning feature, whereas me, from an attendee perspective, will show you my unique QR code so you can scan me in and later on generate reports to see what the attendance was looking like. This same functionality can be used aside from checking in. It can be used to check into sessions. It can be used to network between attendees and share contact details. It can be used to scan by sponsors as well for lead retrieval and much more. In terms of core functionalities, the first thing is, again, the emphasis on the agenda and the different keynotes that you have. For that, you can showcase who your speakers are going to be at that event. You can add an icon for every single speaker linked with their bio, any kind of overview of what sessions they are presenting in, or maybe even links to their YouTube channel or LinkedIn social media. Plus, there's a direct link in case you want to chat one-on-one with that presenter. Now that I've learned about the speakers and learned about what sessions they're presenting in, I can go into the agenda, and this can either be initially very personalized based on my attendance type, or I can go in there and personalize it myself because we do have the agenda builder while I'm going through the different tracks of the event and adding whichever ones I'm interested in into my own agenda. Within the sessions, again, we can have the option of rating it. You can have a full overview about what that session entails and who their speakers are. We've got options where you can book seats in case you've got limited capacity for concurrent sessions, maybe going live. And once I click on the session itself, I'll see a full overview of what it's going to entail, Again, an overview of the speakers. You can even add your handouts in here. So as much as possible, you can shift away from, distributing different brochures and different, papers at the event, but have everything uploaded within the app itself. And I know that note-taking is very important. So every individual will be able to track, anything that's important as takeaways at the event by writing their notes to that session. And at last, I'll wrap it up with the engagement that you get as well. Similar to the virtual. If you're on stage and you want to have interaction with your attendees, you can run a quick poll on the app itself. You can have surveys once the session is over. You can get their feedback through different reviews and much, much more. Second thing that's a very core component at any event revolves around the exhibitor side. So first off, we want to locate where these exhibitors are. So that's where the event floor plan is very helpful, just to better understand how the event is split up, where I can find the vendors that I'm interested in communicating with. I can see the navigation between these booths. I could bookmark the ones that I'm interested in. And then once I locate, booth ABC, for instance, I can go meet them in person and have a conversation in person. But if I wanted further resources, we've even got a sponsor hall within the app that allows you to see everyone that is exhibiting, everyone that's participating at the event. And it will give you access to learn more about their different resources, their different content. And one of the most important features here is the ability to pre-book appointments with these exhibitors and sponsors. This can happen on the spot, or it could happen leading up to the event, where you visit a booth, click on book a meeting, and this will show you the following options: who you want to speak with, what time you want to speak with them, and if you want, even the locations. In case you've got different meeting rooms, you can choose when and where you want to meet with which rep. And once you have that scheduled, it just helps skip that queue at that in-person event. These are some of the two main components. The app does facilitate chat. So you've got text, audio, and video chat within the app itself. Support is included. Unlimited content can be added in your video and resource vault. You can add notes throughout the event as well. And should you require any kind of engagement at your in-person event as well, pretty much the same things we spoke about for the virtual piece are added here as well. You can have a leaderboard, scavenger hunt, photo booths, and you can even have a social wall if you're very active with social media as well. If we've got any questions about the app that we haven't covered, happy to go in more detail on the rest of it.
Thank you so much, Stephanie. Again, guys, thank you so much for joining the demo today. If you have any questions, please feel free to post them in chat so that we can answer those. I want to make sure that over the next 2 minutes we also define, we also kind of announce the winner itself. Who attended the demo today and was engaged throughout the demo itself. So I'll kind of quickly answer one question that I have seen 3 times already. Do we charge per event or do we charge an annual license? We have both options available. See, we have gone through the event landing page and registration form. We have gone through the registration, the virtual event platform. We have gone through the badge printing. We have gone through the mobile event app, and we have the lead capture app and everything else as well. You can always just sign up for one of those products, and even for one of those products, you can just sign up for a particular event, or you can sign up for an annual license. We have both of those offerings available: per product, per event, or per product, an annual license, depending on what your event needs are. I see kind of a comment from Stella that, again, your conference aim is to encourage families to travel, and you want it specifically for people with sensory or accessible needs. We should be able to assist you with that as well. Again, we have done several events for people with special needs, and again, we would love to walk you through the case studies for those in particular. And again, we have also worked for several events within the travel sector itself. With that, I know that we are almost 4 minutes, top our webinar and demo time. Again, for us, the winner for today's particular demo and webinar session is Stella Waterhouse. Stella, we will be in touch with you with your $200 voucher that can be used for any of your vFairs event credits. So thank you so much for all of your questions, and thank you everyone else for all of your questions and for attending today's demo and webinar. We'll be again live next week. So if you have any particular questions, feel free to reach out to one of the vFairs rep. They can have a personalized one-to-one session with you. Otherwise, we will welcome you in our next weekly demo and webinar session next week. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week ahead. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.